Welcome back. And in the
Bro, what is going on, man? There's so many trades. So many trades. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I think what we'll start with, because we're recording this 13 minutes before the deadline. So I'm expecting a few to roll in. So I want to go back to basically the first big one, and we'll just rate them quickly to go through, which will bring us up hopefully to the deadline, and then we can talk about some of these bigger and more imminent trades. So,
Yes, sir.
On the old ESPN tracker, back to February the 4th, almost a week ago now, the Clippers traded Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and Keon Johnson and a future second-round pick to the Trailblazers for Norman Powell and Robert Covington, which starts the Trailblazers blowing up their roster, as we've seen them do, and the Clippers strengthening their roster with Norman Powell and Robert Covington. Robert Covington, I believe, isn't expiring.
For nada. I would give that a minus pickup for the Clippers. The Blazers, I don't necessarily think it's bad, but they were talking about building around Dame, but I'm sort of thinking, well, how are you doing this then? You're sort of blowing it up, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking about Dame. I don't know if he goes within the next 10 minutes.
Could go in the next 10 minutes.
I will be very shocked if he does. I think there's too much riding on him in Portland, and he's very marketable in Portland. I just don't see him going.
I think he should stay. I've heard some pundits basically talking like all the moves the Blazers are making are just trying to undo things the previous GM did. So there's a little bit of cleaning house, but it's a so-so trade. I'll probably give the edge to the Clippers in that one. But we'll see what the Blazers do. They could be part of a larger plan. Anyway, a couple of days later, moving on to the second big trade of this deadline, it was the Cleveland Cavaliers acquiring Caris LeVert and a 2022 second-round pick from the Pacers in exchange for Ricky Rubio and a lottery-protected first for the next draft and a second-round pick. Oh, and a 2027 second-round pick. So lots of picks, but the headline players are Caris LeVert for Ricky Rubio.
I think Indiana wins that trade. The reason being is because Cleveland obviously have seen how well they've done this season. I just also want to say a note on Ricky Rubio. He was extremely good for that team, and it's the business of the NBA. It's so harsh the fact that he got traded, and on a freak injury, he would still be on the Cavs if that didn't happen, and it's really sad. But it's quite a lot to give up for LeVert. He struggled in the playoffs in previous years, and with his efficiency. It's a young team. He's not essentially the leadership that they need. Maybe they can get it from somebody else. Maybe they get it from K-Love. But Indiana, as a whole, like winners of the trade deadline, and we will get onto that. But I think they've been very smart. And there's obviously been a lot of strategic thinking behind this. So I'm going to go with Indiana on the winners.
Yeah, they definitely stacked up on the draft capital there. I agree. And Ricky Rubio, I think, is injured and is an expiring contract. So it's just to make the numbers work. You know what? I don't hate the Cavs getting Caris LeVert. There are worse players.
No, definitely. And they've made an effort to win. Yeah.
I think he will help get them a little bit further in the playoffs. It might just be extending some series, but all of that experience is good for the younger players. I think that's really, really important.
60-40 Indiana. 60-40 Indiana, that's what I was saying.
It is a close one. It is a close one. Here we go. What was the next one then? This is all just intel. I'm looking at the here we go. Yeah, I was looking at the ESPN tracker. So the Portland Trailblazers, after making that initial move with the Clippers, then traded CJ McCollum and Larry Nance and Tony Snell to the Pelicans. Josh Hart, Thomas Satoransky, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's since moved again, and Didi Louzada, who he played for, went in the other direction. What do you think of the Pels picking up CJ?
Panic move for the Pelicans. They see Zion, he's not going to be there. And they thought, we need to get some players in to sort of show him that we're trying to build a team around you. We're trying to build pieces who are going to be there if you choose to continue on your future with us. In that sense, until Alexander Walker got traded again, which is actually news to me because I didn't really know. I think Portland won that trade. They got a lot in return. I think Josh Hart is a really good player.
For CJ McCollum. The main thing they're left with is Josh Hart for CJ McCollum.
But CJ McCollum, in terms of, he's a scorer, but he has actually had a lot of issues with injuries lately. And that is a concern, considering, Zion, we don't even know where he's at. I love CJ, though. In terms of winning and making a winning move, and Alexander Walker, then the Pelicans have obviously made a good trade. Until Alexander Walker was traded away, I would have said the Blazers would have won it because Alexander Walker is a nice piece and he has played well this season.
Yeah. It's Josh Hart is a good player. I just think the main criticism here is the Pels doing really badly in the draft, apart from obviously Zion.
Herb Jones, right?
Herb Jones will be fine. But like Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a guy they drafted. Josh Hart they ended up getting in the trade with the Lakers back in the day, I believe. But they just haven't done a great job. And now they're having to try and add pieces like CJ in an effort to keep Zion interested. And how much better does this make them? It makes them a top 10 team, fine. But
he's going to New York.
He's going
to New
York. If I'm the Pelicans, you've got to do better in the draft. You've got to aim higher for me. I'm not a massive fan. Anyway, moving on to the next big one. We're back to the Indiana Pacers. Traded Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, Justin Holiday, and a second-round pick to the Sacramento Kings for Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson.
I don't know about this one, Bray. It's so heartbreaking for Kings fans because they are the joke of the league and they have a guy who wants to be there and opportunities haven't arisen for him because Fox plays his position. He doesn't really get an opportunity to really say that this is my team because they paid Fox and they've paid him for the long term. When he played against us, the guy nearly scored 40 points and he absolutely torched us. He killed us. I think it's such a shame. Indiana have won this trade from a sense of Halliburton, I think, is a higher potential than Sabonis. Sabonis, amazing player. But if you make that trade and you don't give up Halliburton, Kings win it.
Yeah, I don't. It should have been anyone but Halliburton. And everyone's gone crazy. Halliburton's good, but Domantas Sabonis is the best player in this trade. So in a win-now move, I get it. You need to upgrade. However, you've got Sabonis under contract for probably 2 more years before he gets ridiculously expensive, as a 2-time All-Star should. Whereas Halliburton is still on his rookie deal. You would have been able to extend him, lock him up for the next 5 years. And the biggest thing is that he said he wanted to be in Sacramento. No one ever wants to be in Sacramento. So I just don't get it. Anyone but him. But you know what? If you don't ask, you don't get. So props to the Pacers.
Do you know what's really interesting is there was an NBA consensus of people being shocked that the Kings moved Halliburton. And what's nuts about that is nothing really shocks us from Sacramento because when you go in the trade finder, the first team, you're like, oh, who's going to get us a deal? Sacramento will make a deal, right? And you think, surely they're not going to trade Tyrese. And nobody was thinking it because there was the Philly rumors, right? Maybe he's going to be in the trade. And it's so annoying as a Philly. Obviously, we have Harden now, but it's so annoying that we could have got Halliburton. Like that essentially was the trade we could have got. And we wouldn't have had to give up a lot. But yeah, that's just another thought. But.
Yeah. And allegedly, I believe the Pacers don't plan to trade Buddy Hield, despite obviously having Brogdon as the second guard, which I don't
Buddy's a bucket. Buddy's a bucket.
yeah, but I mean,
I'd still want him on my team. Like, stretch the floor. I'd happily take him.
Yeah, we like it. I don't think it. Obviously, the Pacers are trying to tank, so this is a bit weird. But yeah.
Who do you think wins that trade, Bray?
Indiana. Yeah, like they just doesn't make sense for the Kings to trade him. I mean, just why? Why would you do that? I don't get it. Like he liked it there, and he was good. He should try to trade everyone else.
Sad.
It is sad. I would have loved to see them play together as well. I think they could have had a really nice two-man game. Because the other thing about the Kings is that no one on their roster fits with Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
Like, he just clogs up the lane for Fox. And oh wait, who's in the dunker spot? Rashawn Holmes. Oh, there's too many players in the key.
You saw it last night on the highlights when Sabonis had that clutch tip in. Fox drove the lane. He missed the floater because there were so many bodies in the paint, and Sabonis tips it in. You'd be literally honestly, prime example.
So that's a bit of a struggle, but hey ho, it's the Kings. What do you expect? Moving on, the Utah Jazz acquired Nicky Alexander Walker from the Blazers. And Hernan Gomez from the Spurs in a three-way deal. Satoransky got sent to the Spurs with a second-round pick. And then the Blazers picked up Joe Ingles, who was out for the season, Elijah Hughes, and a second-round pick, which means they essentially traded Nicky Alexander Walker for a second-round pick. What do we think?
Great pickup for the Jazz. Another example of basketball being brutal. Joe Ingles has been with the Jazz his entire career. Has been great for them, but he has an injury. He's out for the season. The Jazz also have a window for championship because they've always got to a point, but they've never got over the hump of we're actually legit contenders and we're in the Final Four or whatnot, similar to Philly. But we know about Mitchell and Gobert and their troubles as well and the reports. But to get Alexander Walker, and I also like Hernan Gomez, he's really good backup center to have. He provides a lot of offense.
They've got us on one side, though.
Yeah, but I guess it's another option. And like you said, it's all about matchups. So if they can tailor that, the West is, I don't know what you think about the West, because it seems like the East is wide open, but the West, it seems like there's two teams that a lot of people are picking to meet in the conference finals, which is the Suns and the Warriors. Do you think the Jazz can make some noise?
It's going to take a superhuman effort from Gobert and Mitchell. It falls on those two, really. I think if they can, because they killed the Warriors last night. Like, it can happen, you know. Warriors obviously don't have Draymond Green at the moment. He changes their team a lot. To be honest, like in the 7-game series, if the Warriors didn't have Draymond Green, I probably would favour the Spurs. The Jazz. I like the moves for them. Joe Ingles was expiring. He's been basically, everyone's been saying they'll probably, in order to get better, probably trade him, whether he was healthy or whether he's not. So I'm impressed that they managed to get something. A piece as big as Nicky Alexander Walker, I think, is really cool, and someone they can kind of build around, especially as Mike Conley gets a bit older. So
Jazz
like
win that trade.
Like that a lot. Here's another blockbuster. OKC acquired KZ Okpala from the Miami Heat for a 2026 second-round pick.
Next.
What a trade! What a trade! Incidentally, Larry Nance Jr. is going to be out for 6 weeks, so that's another guy that the Pelicans aren't going to have for part of the stretch run.
God.
What else is ESPN telling me? It's all rumors. And then, we had a 4-teamer. So we had Sacramento Kings acquiring Dante DiVincenzo in a four-way trade. So let's have a look at the details of this Bucks trade. So Milwaukee got Serge Ibaka, 2 future second-round picks and some cash. Sacramento got Dante DiVincenzo, Trey Lyles, and Josh Jackson. The Clippers got Rodney Hood and Semi Ojeleye, and the Detroit Pistons got Marvin Bagley III.
Wow. Poor Marv, man. Poor guy.
I'm glad he's got out.
Yeah, to be fair, good job, Marvin. This is a great trade for the Bucks, mainly because they get Serge Ibaka, championship experience, a good person to space the floor, which you said about Brook Lopez, how he was really crucial. And obviously, Serge Ibaka is not as tall as Brook Lopez, but I think that's a decent pickup for the Bucks. The Bucks will find their rhythm, and they still are. They're the champs, so you've got to place them at number one. You've got to place them at number one in the East because they have earned the right. And also, you saw what Giannis did to the Lakers.
No, that's not very nice, Giannis. He's an absolute animal. I actually don't. I don't hate this one for the Kings. Dante DiVincenzo. That's a nice guy. He's a star. He'll be a star. He's all right.
There's a lot of. It seems like there's a lot of guards on that team now.
Well, no, because they've got.
They got rid of Buddy. They got rid of Halliburton, but they've also got the other Mitchell, right?
The other Mitchell, Davion. And then okay, it's a bit crowded, but and then
I know what you mean.
Well.
He's a forward. He's a decent piece. It's not going to change their franchise. The winner of this is Milwaukee. They get Serge Ibaka. Done.
Yeah. Good trade. The Raptors traded Goran Dragic and a protected 2022 first to the Spurs for Thad Young and Drew Eubanks. No. I actually really like that for the Jazz. Not the Jazz, the Raptors.
You'd like that? Well, I like Thad Young, but I don't think it's going to change them. Like the Raptors are going to be. The Raptors are going to be as competitive as they have been, and I know they've been very up and down this season. They're still competing, which is good. Their ceiling this season is going to be playing and a low seed in the playoffs. Thad Young doesn't change that. He adds a level of facilitation to their offense and also more experience. But
I like it. It's good trade for the Raptors. This is what good GMs do. They make good moves. I really like Eubanks as well as a backup center, or maybe even star. I don't even know. Ed will kill us if we don't talk about this one. The Celtics traded PJ Dozier, a Bol and a future second in cash to the Magic for a future second round pick.
Ed, are you listening? Ed, we're talking about this trade.
We're talking about this trade. Basically what the Celtics are doing is they're getting under the tax because they don't want to pay it.
Right.
And
okay.
In that way they're sending Bol to and PJ Dozier, who I believe are both injured for the season. To the Magic. So
I just hope Bol gets a chance to play. That's all I want. Like somebody to just.
He's fun.
Yeah, but Mo Bamba hasn't really had a chance. And correct me if I'm wrong, Magic fans, but when he has turned up, has he turned up? And he can be an absolute monster. And I want them to at least trial Bol and give the guy let the guy play. It's a nothing trade. I think it's a bit. It's
literally nothing. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to stretch it out for Ed's benefit.
I mean, look, for the Magic, it's annoying that he's not playing. Ultra made a really good point. It's annoying that he's not playing now because he'd be getting really good reps with no repercussion. So that's a shame. To be honest, I think the Magic are going to be in the same position next year. I don't see them making a push. So hopefully he plays next year.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I hope we get to. Hopefully it's fun. Okay, here is one that you may or may not have seen because it happened very, very recently, about 22 minutes before the end of the deadline, which has now passed incidentally. The Boston Celtics are acquiring Derek White from the Spurs for Romeo Langford, Josh Richardson, and a top 4 protected pick next year. What do you think? Derek White not making a difference? He's really good.
I don't know too much about Derek White and what he's done this season. He's averaging 14, 3 rebounds and 6 assists. Ah, it's not bad. And you said he's going to Boston, right?
Yeah, to Boston.
Okay, well, Boston do need a general at the point, but Boston is going to end with the two Jalen's, the two Jays, I should say, Jason and Jalen, and I don't think it's a B pickup, I would say. I don't know. I'm not in an educated position to really speak about Derek White, but it's okay.
Okay, Pacers. Send Torrey Craig to the Suns for Jalen Smith, who the Suns opted not to extend off of his rookie deal, and a future second. I like that for the Suns. They get someone to play, Torrey Craig. That's really nice.
Torrey Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait.
Torrey Craig to the Suns for Jalen Smith.
Yeah, bro, this is great because Torrey Craig played for Phoenix last year, and he was good.
Did he? He's back.
Yeah,
amazing.
He's
so
back.
They basically traded him back, and the Pacers get a really nice young player.
Yeah, I think that's a great pickup for Phoenix. I really like Torrey Craig. He brings toughness on the defensive end. He can make shots. He's a great winning player, and it adds to the Suns' depth that they have. The Phoenix Suns. Nobody else believed you in the sixth man. I believed in you, Suns. People said you were going to be dead. Ed, not me. I believe in you. And Chris Paul to win a championship. Career. That would be what a way to finish a career.
Amazing. I like that move on the sides. I very much like that.
That's the team I would want to win if Philly don't win. The Suns.
The Charlotte Hornets are acquired Montrezl Harrell for a guy called Vernon Carey Jr. I don't know who he is, and Ish Smith. Montrez to the Hornets. What do we think?
Makes their team more exciting. Montrez is a very hyped up individual who can still put up some decent numbers. This is a guy who was a sixth man maybe 2-3 years ago. For the Hornets, I know that at the center position, they don't have a stable center. I think Montrez is most likely going to be supporting the guys off the bench and providing instant offense when LaMelo and Bridges are off. So I like the pickup for Hornets.
I agree. Really, really good. Doesn't really help them out with the defensive end as a center, but offensively, man, he and Melo are gonna have some highlights. That's gonna be very, very nice. We mentioned it just before we jumped on. One of the bigger ones, the Mavs trade Kristaps Porzingis and second round pick to the Wizards for Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. What do we think?
Well, Bill's up for the season, so they needed to make a deal. Thank God they got rid of Davis Bertans because that guy he's paid and he hasn't really done anything. He's got a ridiculous contract. I don't know if the Mavs, this European connection, let's bring Bertans on. It didn't work out with Porzingis, but it's going to be like got Maxi Kleber, Bertans in the crunch time lineup. I think this is. I don't know what to think about this, Bray. I don't know.
I think this is teeing up for them not to pay Malcolm Brogdon. Who's the backup point guard? Jalen Brunson. This is teeing up for them not to pay Jalen Brunson because Spencer Dinwiddie kind of naturally fills that spot. I do, however, like the trade in terms of their offense. Remember, we're not that far off. It wasn't long ago when the Mavs had the best offense of all time. That actually happened. They were incredible on offense, and I don't. I think adding a shooter.
What year was this?
Oh, I think it was like 2020. It was like 2 years ago. It was like
really?
Incredible. Yeah.
Okay.
They had like an insane offense, and it was just Luka spraying it to shooters. It was incredible. And again, that's what they're looking to do. They're trying to build around bigs. Obviously, Kleber is the other center that they've got, and he works really, really well with Luka. So I think good to see more playing time for him. Bertans slots into the four. Hopefully, he can actually make some shots. But that'll be interesting.
The shade.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he's just not rolled right on a contract. I think by the end of his contract, it will be fine. I think there might be some cap changes coming in that will make it look okay. But yeah, it's a difficult one. Just before 1 minute before, as reported by ESPN, the Houston Rockets trading Daniel Tice. They're sending him home to the Boston Celtics for Dennis Schroeder.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, like, no, it's just a nothing trade, is it? Like,
I know. It's just nothing
great.
to like. They like him there. He gets abused a bit. I can see on the broadcast they're just talking about Simmons and Harden being traded. Yeah.
I just give me your loser first of the NBA trade deadline.
Loser. I think. Well, this is the thing, because when you're talking about winners and losers, you also have to consider any teams that didn't make a deal who potentially should have done. I was very much on the fence with the Bulls. Didn't think they needed to make a deal because they just got a lot of injuries. I would say potentially the Hawks made a little deal earlier. So, I think they weren't.
I think the Bulls are a loser.
You think the Bulls are a loser for not making a deal?
Yeah, I think that you could have made a deal, and I'm not saying Daniel Tice is going to change your thing, but you could have got somebody in at the defensive end. And also, the other thing that makes the Bulls a loser, which, they can't really determine this, but two teams have essentially got better.
Yes, this is true. This is true. I think that the main thing for the Bulls, though, is that the defense isn't very good. However, our three best defenders are all out injured in Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, and Patrick Williams. So there is, yes, you can make the win now, the short-term move. Let's bring in some defenders at the power forward spot or something. Let's make an upgrade there. I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't make a move on the periphery, trading someone like Derek Jones Jr. or Troy Brown. I think there was, potentially something to get there, but you would have had to give up a pick. So I understand why they didn't. It's probably because they didn't want to give up the pick, I think. All I can say for the Bulls is that when their guys do come back healthy, they're in as good a place as any team in the top 8 now, because Brooklyn are now in the 8th spot, which is maddening. So,
and let's close on a winner. Who's your winner?
I think the Pacers. The Pacers have done really well. I like what they're kind of. They know exactly where they're going. They know what they're doing. They've got some nice young players. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the off season potentially move Brogdon or Turner, just to say, you know what, let's go really young. Or maybe they find they have a good synergy, they do quite well, and they can kind of do, but rebuild on the fly, as it were. But I like it for them. No, I've got the loser. Do you know who the loser is?
Who?
The New York Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
Because the Nets got way better and the Knicks didn't.
Yeah, my winner to close it out is the Spurs. I think, just reading it up, they've got rid of Derek White's long-term contract, and they picked up a first-round pick for him. They've also got rid of Hernan Gomez's deal, and they've got more draft compensation. They got another pick with Thad Young's expiring deal, and they've still got the All-Star DeJounte Murray. Well done to you, sir, for being an All-Star. And they've got Kelvin Johnson, who I really like. So they've set themselves up nicely for the future. San Antonio's future is looking good.
And let's be honest, they've got a really good track record in the draft, which is great. Because the thing that always makes me laugh, like San Antonio is the exception here, but teams who acquire loads of draft picks but are terrible at drafting players. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's not you, Spurs.
It's okay, Bray, because we've got the beard. He's here. He's home. I think.
I hope for good things. I'm not entirely convinced. I
I think let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. The beard is home. Philly's back in contention. It has been an interesting trade deadline.
Very.
And we're about to see how it all plays out. The East has got a hell of a lot stronger. Thank you, Bray, for taking us through the deadlines. And we hope you enjoyed watching it. Until next year or in the off season.
Well, I think more details might come out in the next few days. So who knows? You might be hearing from us again. But that's all from us for now. We'll catch you again
in a bit.